discuss two parts. My Nirmaan topic is history of light. I will explain you its interesting journey. Stage 1, 6 to 8 million BC. During this period, fire discovered by rubbing pieces of stones on each other. Stage 2, 20,000 BC. Animal fat-based oil lamp was created. Stage 3, 500 BC. Romans made candles from tallow. Stage 4, 1780. Argand lamp. Vegetable oil-based argand lamp was invented by Annie Argan. It required less wick trimming. Stage 5, 1850. Kerosene lamp. Lamps were cheap and could produce vital flame. Stage 6, 1879. Incandescent bulb. Thomas Alva Edison patented incandescent bulb in 1879. This was first artificially produced electric light. Stage 7, 1970. CFL bulbs. Compact fluorescent lamps were 4 times more efficient than incandescent bulbs. Stage 8, 2009 onward. LED bulbs. Light-emitting diode bulbs are now widely used. They are featured as long-life, energy-efficient, high-brightness, white color range, and directional lighting. Advances in LED is human-centric lighting, aiming natural daylight back into people's everyday life. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I, Miss Pratyusha Sandeep Tiwari, welcome you all to the Nirmaan exhibition of Grade 3. My topic is the evolution of communication through the centuries. Communication is an important key to understanding between people. The way people communicate today is entirely different from the prehistoric era. Today, texts, emails, tweets, and personal messages can reach the recipient in just a matter of seconds. Let us see how communication has evolved over the period of years. The oldest form of symbols used for communication is cave paintings. According to theorists, cave paintings were created to mark a territory or to record events. The oldest cave painting was discovered in France around 30,000 BC. Our early ancestors have used different variations of signs and symbols to communicate. Around 10,000 BC, petroglyphs or carvings in the rock surface, also called rock art, was created. In 9000 BC came the pictograms, in which ancient people used logographic images to tell their stories. Egyptians had their hieroglyphs. Chinese created characters. Lastly, the alphabet, which redefined language and communication, was developed around 2000 BC. With the evolution of alphabets, followed letter writing and newspaper printing. After print media flourished, theory of electromagnetism was developed, and in 20th century, radio broadcasting began. Telegraphy was the next technology that revolutionized long-distance communication. But this was immediately replaced by telephone, a device that converted human audio signals to electronic signals. Until now, telephones remain one of the most reliable communication systems. Mobile phones are the latest addition to this section. Television broadcasting that started after World War II became a mode of indirect communication to the mass audience. In 1950s, internet was developed and World Wide Web was introduced that started the modern internet era. With the onset of the internet, emails, text messages and instant chats began. The latest mode of communication in the digital era is the use of social media platforms like YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook and Instagram. So friends, you see how communication has gone through a lot of stages before it became so efficient and convenient today. Thus, our role is to use these communication tools responsibly and in the right way. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Jana Pandya from grade 3. Today I am here to present my project on history of clock. As we all know, a clock is a device used to measure, keep and indicate time. The history of clocks is very long and there have been many different types of clocks over the centuries. Let us go through the same. Sundial clocks. This is sundial clock, which was created by Egyptians. It worked by creating a shadow from the sun. Candle clock. This is candle clock. It was invented by Chinese. A candle clock is a thin candle with markings spaced out that indicate how much time has passed as it burns. Hourglass clock. This is hourglass clock. This was invented in France. It is also called as sun timer. It is a device used to measure passage of time. Cuckoo clock. This is cuckoo clock. It was invented by Mr. Franz Kettler in Germany. This is a kind of clock made by wood that looks like a small house. It gets its name because at the start of every hour, a small door opens and a little bird comes out and makes the noise cuckoo, cuckoo. Pendulum clock. This is pendulum clock. It was invented by Christian Huygens. This is a clock that uses a pendulum, a swinging weight, as its time-keeping element. Quartz clock. This is quartz clock. This is quartz clock. It was invented by J.W. Horton. This is a clock which uses an electric oscillator regulated by quartz crystal to keep time. Digital clock. This is digital clock. It was invented by D.E. Boltzmann. This clock works on digital codes. Thank you.
Welcome, my name is Khanam Chan and I am going to tell about history of communication. Communication is exchanging of information by speaking, writing or using some other medium. Throughout the ages, humankind has developed various modes of communication. Here is a look of evolution of communication. I am going to start with Asian communication. First is smoke signals, pigeon post, printing press, telegraph, telephone, first video phone, first pager. Now I am going to start with modern communication. First mobile phone, email, Skype, social media.
Hello everyone, my name is Lex Tiwari from class 3rd D. Measuring time was so easy. Nowadays measuring time is so easy. But have you ever thought it about olden days? How do ancient people used to measure the exact time? Have you ever thought it? Well, there were many types of devices from which they can get the exact time. So I have made 4 types of devices from which they could get the exact time. So the first clock I have made is the sundial clock, as you can see. This was introduced in Egypt around 3500 years ago. The next clock I have is a water clock. See, so I'll tell you how does it works. I'll fill up some water and I'll leave it right now. See, it's slowly filling up. So let it get filled. The last clock I have is a sand clock. I have made a 2-minute sand clock, but you can also make 2 or 3 hours sand clock. And the last clock I have is a modern clock, as you can see over here. If you're filling up, I have also made it in 2 minutes. You can also make it 2 or 3 hours. Indian people used to call it as a Ghatika clock. But now in the change with the technology, measuring time is much easier. People use 24-hour clock or 12-hour clock.
Hello everyone, my name is Kran. Climate change is the biggest race is facing. To solve this issue, we must use clean energy such as wind energy. My project is about utilizing wind energy. It is the wind energy generator for a home. So here is the turbine which rotates when wind is blown upon it. The turbine rotates the generator attached to it. Generator generates the electricity. This electricity is used in the house. So this is how wind energy is generated in electricity. Thank you everyone.
Welcome to Nirmaan Exhibition 2020. My name is Pratyush. I am from 3rd D. I am going to show you history of ships. A ship is a large watercraft that travels in world ocean and other sufficient waterways. Ship is used to carry goods, passengers, or support of missions like defense, research, and fishing, etc. Vasco da Gama, the explorer of India, was reached in India via ship. The model of ship, which is in my hand, is the oldest model of transportation. This ship is called sailing ship and it is developed by Taiwan. The sail used this ship was helping to float and control using wind energy. In 1875, the sail ship was discontinued. A new model was there. In this model, instead of sail, steam engine work. These engines are more efficient and give more power at sea level atmosphere. Are done and speedboats are invented. Journey of ships are very extensive and time is less to cover in detail. Thank you.
I am Tasha Chandrasekhar from 3rd D. I have chosen shelter for my project. Along with food and clothing, shelter is one of the most important things in the life of humans. It protects us from weather, wild animals and gives us a place to live and rest. Stone Age. During this, humans lived in caves and small huts made of mud. These huts had a single door. Later, houses were made with bricks and cement. Middle Age. Houses were made with stones. They started making kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, etc. Modern Age. Along with bricks, cement and stones, we started using glass to make windows. Nowadays, we live in tall buildings. The new technology has given us modern shelters. I have used all these things to make my project. Television nowadays have become so important device that people can sit in front of it for hours and cannot imagine the life without television. So let's learn about television. Television became available in crude experimental forms in the late 1920s, but it would still be several years before the new technology would be marketed to consumers. After World War II, an improved form of black and white TV broadcasting became popular in the United Kingdom and United States, and television sets became commonplace in homes, businesses and institutions. During the 1950s, television was the primary medium for influencing public opinion. In the mid-1960s, color broadcasting was introduced in the US and most other developed countries. Hello, I am Aram Chaudhary. I am from class 3D. Today's my Nirmaan topic is clock history. A clock is a device used to measure, keep and indicate time. Many types of clock are used today. From the beginning, men have used all types of clocks. Sundial. Ancient people had other ways to tell time. The Egyptians invented the obelisk. The shadow was used to mark the hour of the day. Simple estimate of time. The pendulum clock. The first modern clock was the pendulum clock. It was invented in 1656 by Dutch scientist Christian Huygens. Different inventors later made improvement on Huygens' invention. In 1921, W.H. Short made new pendulum clock. It had two pendulums with the slave pendulum pushing the master to move and also keeping the hands going. The quarter clock. The quarter clock was invented by Warren Mason. He decided to use quartz crystal vibration in an electric circuit. It became the standard from the 1930 onwards. Now I show you my three models of clock. This is sundial, the ancient clock. The pendulum clock, the first modern clock. The modern clock from 1930 onwards. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Nirmaan exhibition. My name is Lokesh Chauhan and my topic is History of Planes. On 17 December 1903, Wilbur and Orley Wright made 4 flights and made history. The wings were made of fabric and were mounted on a frame. The wings were shorted at one side. Charlie Furness was the first passenger of Wright brothers plane. Gradually, the plane was improved and was more aerodynamic in every generation, and it was also helpful during World War First and Second. The first jet was made by de Havilland Comet in 1952. Boeing 707 was the most successful commercial for 50 years. Boeing 747 was the largest passenger plane until it was surpassed by Airbus A380 in 2005. The Concorde jet was the fastest jet in the world. Thank you. I choose topic cookware. I'm going to tell you how the evolution started and story behind cookware. Stone Age mankind eat raw food and meat for which they need stone to cut. The human evolution started and they started cooking and storing, for which they require utensils. They use bronze and copper. Initially and gradually moved to iron, brass glasses, ceramic and various alloy. I'm going to tell you about few of them. There are cast iron, brass and copper. Let us discuss about cast iron first. Cast iron cooker was always present in Indian kitchen in form of tawas and kadais. But the popularity of lightweight non-stick had faded them away from market. Its popularity is gradually picking up globally as non-stick coatings raise health concern and cannot perform multiple functions apart from tawas and kadais. A number of cast iron items are available in market to suit all kinds of recipe requirements. Now let us move to the next topic, which is brass. Brass is an alloy of zinc and copper. It is called pitar in Hindi. The health benefits of using brass utensils are: first, drinking water from brass vessel increase strength and immunity. Next, eating food from a brass vessel prevents abdominal infection. Third and the last point is, as zinc is present in brass and helps us to purify the blood. Now let us move to the last and next topic of my Nirmaan project, which is copper. Copper is a ductile metal with very high thermal and electrical conductivity. In ancient days, copper was used as the best metal to transmit energy and preserve clean water. Now let us see how copper water is useful to us. Copper water helps us in improving digestion. It improves thyroid function, fights cancer in weight loss, and improves our skin too. Thank you, everyone. Now, let me tell you, this is the iron utensil, this is the brass utensil, and this is the copper's utensil. Thank you. History. History is the study of past, where whole series are connected with a person or a thing is called
What is shelter? Shelter is a place where we live. It protects and covers and provides us safety. Rock shelter. A long time ago, early man lived in caves to protect himself from sun, wind, rain, snow, and wild animals. Farming made it necessary for man to settle down in one place. So, the man needed to make houses. Men made houses of stones, wood, hay, and mud. These houses were weak and therefore known as kacha houses. Later, man used bricks and cement to construct his house. India entered into the cement era in 1914, where Indian Cement Company started manufacturing cement. As time passed, there was an increase of number of modern buildings with urban architecture. These buildings have facilities like they were very tall, they have all the amenities making our lives easy. So, in conclusion of shelter has played a vital role in our lives from Stone Age till today. So, a powerful storm would help us to make a stronger shelter. Thank you. This is a cave. This is a kacha house, also called as hay hut. This is a cemented house. And this is a building with urban architecture. Thank you for watching my video.
Hello everyone, my name is Manvi Are. I am studying in 3rd D in NL Dalmia High School. My topic of Nirmaan project is evolution in shelter. As we know, the basic need of human being are shelter, food and clothes. Humans build shelter to protect them from climate factors like wind, rain, snow, heat, etc. Shelter gives the feeling of safety. According to history, when the life was started, it was divided into 3 ages: Paleolithic age, Neolithic age and Megalithic age. Paleolithic age is the first stone age where humans lived their life under trees and natural caves for survival and in search of food. In Neolithic age, humans struggled for survival and learned new techniques to form their own shelter in the form of tents and huts. And they form a village. In Megalithic age, humans built the temples where people meet and know each other. After that, slowly the development of building the shelter takes place in the form of stone houses, brick houses, and now we see huge buildings made of bricks and cement. In this way, the evolution in shelter takes place. Thank you.
The topic for Nirmaan project is cookware. Invention of clay pots. The invention of clay pots was immediately after the invention of fire. It was the most important innovation in cookery. Invention of aluminium and steel. Later, humans started to use utensils made of aluminium and steel to cook vegetables and meat. There were also cookers available made of aluminium to make cooking easy and convenient. Invention of glass and unbreakable items. Then humans started to use glass and unbreakable items for serving food and drinks. Romans also used casserole pots for storing food items like chapati, etc. Cookware also includes glass jars for pickles and jams. Non-stick cookware. Non-stick cookware includes non-stick items like pots and pans. Non-stick helps food not to stick to the bottom of the vessels. Usage of paper plates and plastic use and other disposable items. On picnics, birthday parties and get-togethers, people use paper plates and plastic glasses and cups as it will be hassle-free and easier to use and throw.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Dia, student of NL Dania High School of grade 3rd D. Welcome you all to Nirmaan Exhibition 2020. Today's topic is History of Cooking Gas. So let's get started. In olden times, people used to use wood from trees and hay for cooking. They used to rub 2 stones to light up the fire. Next, mud clay was invented. Man used to use mud clay to balance the vessels, but man still used to rub the stones to light up the fire. Then matchbox was invented. Then man stopped using rubbing the stones and used matchbox to light up the fire. Next gas stove was invented where kerosene was used for cooking. Then latest is top cooking gas with gas cylinders, which we have in all of our houses. With the help of this invention, it helped us a lot in cooking and saved our time. This was a brief history of cooking gas. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
In 1973, the first phone was made by this man, Martin Cooper. He was a former Motorola vice president. And this is the phone that he made. In 1989, Motorola Microtac 9800X was the first flip-down phone. This was the first 2G phone, Nokia 1011 in 1992. IBM Simon in 1994 was the first phone with a touchscreen and apps. The first flip phone and to introduce vibrate mode was Motorola StarTAC in 1996.
Do you know, my friends, what was the journey of aviation? So let's start the journey.
This history begins with the Crete of Ireland. Daedalus and his son Icarus attempted to escape from Crete Island. For this, they created wings by using wax and feathers. In 9th century, ornithopter was built with vulture wings. So this is my hot air balloon. In 18th century, this is the first flight made with any living creatures. The concept behind it that heated air was lighter than the surrounding air, so it was able to fly. This is an zeppelin. In 19th century, this is the first fully controlled free flight. They are rigid airships and use the bombers and scouts. This is the plane of Wright brothers, but I made it with my hand. This is the first airborne plane using aerodynamic sound technology. It is a Sputnik 1. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, first artificial Earth satellite. It has four external radio antennas to broadcast radio pulses. Choose history of clock. Well, the history of clock is very interesting. It is a journey from moon and sun to digitalization. So let's start. In olden times, people used the position of moon and sun to determine the date and time, which was not accurate. Then, in 2000 BC, sexagesimal system was started. In this system, number 60 was a base number. Like, for example, 60 minutes in 1 hour and 60 seconds in 1 minute. The oldest symbol of timekeeping devices and concept of time is hourglass. In ancient times of Egypt, systems like sundial and water clock were used to measure time. And then in 14th century, but this was not very accurate. But then later on in 14th century, the mechanical clocks were made. Then in 15th century, pendulum clocks were made. Then in 17th century, pocket watches were made. And then Peter Hamlin became the first craftsman to make the ornamental watches, which were worn as pendants or attached to clothing. And these days, the microelectronic watches were used in 19th century. And the most recent timekeeping devices are called digital clocks. Now I will show you some pictures of clock. This one is hourglass. And this one is sundial. This one is water clock. This is pendulum clock. This is mechanical clock. This is wall clock. And this is digital clock. Thank you.
In our fast-moving life, use of a gas stove, microwave and oven for cooking and baking is a past of our existence, but only 3 decades ago it was all about homemade clay stove that made
clay that used a combination of clay, husk, and water. With the change in time, the humble chuli got replaced with a fancy and one-touch cooking range that is supported with chimney and keeps the home smokeless, so smoke free. Nowadays, oven electric stove are also in use. Thank you.
Aeroplanes. In 1902, the Wright brothers made their glider, but they were not truly happy. This is a model of a small glider. They worked on the plane and finally added propulsion to it. On 17 December 1903, Wilbur and Orville Wright made 4 short flights and made history. It was the first aeroplane ever created. This is the model of the first aeroplane. Here you can see the wings, the body, and the tailplane. There are 2 propellers in the front of the plane, and the wings are made of fabric. The wings of one side is shorter. Gradually, the design of aeroplane was improved. The design became more aerodynamic with every generation. The first use of aeroplane was in Air Force. They were very useful during the World War I and II. The jet aircraft de Havilland Comet was made in 1952. The Boeing 707 was the most successful commercial aircraft for 50 years from 1958 to 2010. Currently, we have aircrafts made by Boeing, Airbus, and many other companies. The Boeing 747 was the world's biggest passenger aircraft from 1970 till 2005. Currently, Airbus A380 is the largest aeroplane. It was made in 2005. Here is the model of the new generation aircraft.
A fan in the world. A fan is powered machine used to create a flow of air. The Panka fan was used in India about 500 BCE. It was a handheld fan made from bamboo leaves or other plant fiber that could be rotated off fan to move air. Between 1882 and 1886, Surya Wheeler invented a fan powered by electricity. It was commercially marketed by the American Freed, Crooker and Creeds Electric Motor Company. In 1882, Philips Dell developed the world's first electric ceiling on table fan. During this intense period of invention, fans powered by exhaust, alcohol, oil or kerosene were common around the turn of the 20th century.
We humans possess the most notable quality of communication, and it has evolved over the years due to technology revolution. Let us have a look how our methods to communicate have changed over periods. Telegraph. The telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse in 1840s. It is the first electrical telecommunication system. It is used for send messages over long distancing from wires that carry electrical signals. Now we move on to postal services. Postal services are the system whereby messages are transmitted from post boxes to post offices and then delivered to the people. Now we go on to landlines. Landlines are a conventional telecommunication system connection by cables laid across land. We can communicate to each other by a device called telephone. Now we have advanced to computers and smartphones. Computers were first built in 19th century. The main benefits of computers in communication sector are wide coverage, speedy transmission, video chatting, internet, social networking, and yes, attending our online classes in Corona times. Smartphones. Smartphones are the mobile phones. Functions like that of computer beyond making phone calls and sending text messages. So friends, landline replaced the telegraph and cell phone replaced landlines.
The topic is history of transportation. Earlier, people used to travel by walking and use such animals like horse, camel, donkey, etc. for their comfort. But it took long time to travel. But one day, one man saw a log of peas rolling down from the hill, and they got an idea to invent a wheel. And the wheel was invented by Blaise Pascal around 4000 BC.
And see a history of aeroplane and so come with me. It started with hot air balloon. The balloon was inflated and hot air balloon from an opening fire burning in a large wicker basket while lifting up. Montgolfier brothers, Joseph and Etienne designed the first hot air balloon. It was the first to lift the human beings from the ground level. The next is John Stringfellow's seaplane. In 1848, Stringfellow achieved the first power flight using an unmanned 10-feet wingspan steam power. A monoplane built in a disused lace factory in a Somerset. Next is Callie's triplane, the first heavier than air machine to carry a human. The next is the awesome inventor named Wright brothers. The Wright brothers plane is the first successful powered aeroplane and was created by Wilbur and Orville Wright in 1990 with a gasoline-powered engine. But 6 years
before Wright brothers invention.
Before Wright brothers invention, Shivkant Guruji Talpade was also made an airplane and it crashed in a sea.
Next is Roberto Santos Dumont flying the limousine over Paris. Santos Dumont later added ailerons between the wings and fought to gain more stability. His final design was flown in 1907. The next is flag building. The years between the War and World War II saw great advancements in aircraft technology. Aeroplanes evolved from low-power biplanes made from wood and fabric to sleek, high-powered monoplanes made of aluminium. Based primarily on the founding world of cargo junkers during the World War I period. In Kent is the heavily biplane. See 19 and 30. Next is jet fighter, and then the next is after the World War II. The first commercial jet airliner to fly was the British De Havilland Comet by 1952. Nowadays you can see the military planes and the planes which we can fly. So that was the history of aeroplanes. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you.
Human Shelter for my Nirmaan project. Before I proceed, would like to express a thought on this year's project. Unlike every year, this year, because of pandemic, we are doing our project remotely, which is a new and amazing experience. But needless to say, we miss our in-class activities through which we used to learn a lot. Now I'm going to explain the project. Shelter along with food and clothing is one of the most essential necessity for humans. We need shelter to protect ourselves from bad weather, wild animals, insects, and provide a place to rest. Long the road, people did not have houses. They lived in caves. When there was flood, people climbed high mountain tops in search of shelter. Then people lived in huts. Huts was made up of branches and leaves of trees. But huts were not strong enough to protect our people from heavy rain. So people built a mud house. Mud house was built by mud and stones. Nowadays, houses are built of bricks and cement, which is much stronger. Today, due to large population, in cities, demand of skyscrapers have increased. Thank you.
In olden days, people used some old cookware, such as this is mud cookware. This is made of mud and clay. It is called mud. The next is bronze. It's called bronze and it is good for our health and skin. It is made of bronze. It is called copper. The real is this. This is made of copper and it is called copper. The next is the modern cookware. In these days, people use this pan for cooking or hot things. It doesn't take much time to cook food. The next is steel.
It's made of steel. It doesn't take much time. It's look very nice and it is very nice. And it's made of steel and it's called steel cookware. The next is induction. Nowadays people use this for cook or hot something. These are the things of cookware you can see. Thank you.
Okay.
This is the right brother, and that's the right flyer. This is the right flyer that I made, and it flies on the concept lift, drag, weight, and thrust. Stop. Now I'll tell you how does aeroplane fly. Aeroplane flies because they are able to generate a force called lift. Weight is the force created by the pull of gravity. While any part of the airplane can produce lift, the most lift comes from the wings. Propellers are shaped just like the wings and also generate lift. The first propeller were made of wood. There is more than one type plane. Glider, the oldest style glider, did not have a motor. A person
1903, Wright B flyer. The Wright brothers commenced a flight with an object heavier than air. The new invention helped the world to progress by putting new ideas into people's head. 1917, Junker 14. This was the first plane made of metal. 1933, Boeing 242. The Boeing was the first model airliner that could fly with 10 passengers in comfort. It had 2 engines and it was completely made of metal. 1947, Bell X1 XI. The Bell XI is known because this plane broke the sound barrier. People could travel long distances faster. 1969, Concorde. The Concorde was the first supersonic airline that had the engine that can double the speed of sound. 2005, Airbus. The Airbus is a type of plane that is double-deck with 4 engines. It could travel 15700 kilometers without refueling. Thank you. Now I am assembling the model Airbus. To explain about evolution of cookware. Life was not easy. No gun, no fishing gear. It was a challenge to get food for humans. In ancient era, shells of turtles were source of cooking pots. In 7000 BC, humans began using large stone bowls. It was the starting of Stone Age. Later came clay pots. Evolving cooking pots further. This developed pottery and creation
of fireproof cooking pots. In 17th century, it was common to use metals such as brass, iron, etc. for making pots, hooks and skettles. Then came modern age. In 19th and 20th century, where cookware evolved completely with introduction of non-stick cookware, electric stove, etc. This make cooking easy and enjoyable. Thank you.
Hello everyone, hope you all are safe and healthy. Myself, Nirmaan Science from 3rd D, a student of NL Darmia High School, will tell you about my project on evolution of shelter. Long ago, early human beings used to move from one place to another and live below trees to protect themselves from sunlight, heat, rain, snow and animals. Then they felt the need of shelter to protect themselves from bad weather. They started making caves like these from stones and mud. These caves were safe shelter and they lived with their families and led a good life ahead. As humanity evolved, their shelters also started evolving. People developed and started making huts like these from hay, grass and bamboo. These huts protected them from wildlife and natural calamities. They made their huts more stronger using the parts of plants and trees. People used their knowledge to make the huts more stronger and continue to dwell in their life. With the development of better raw material, people started making bigger and stronger houses in an organized structures and design. People lived an organized life with their families in large houses and bungalows like these. These houses were made from bricks and cement. Slowly, people started making double-storied independent houses and designed them as their need. As humans and technology are evolving, their shelters are also developing. The houses have now taken the shape of complicated structures and buildings like these. These buildings are called apartments. Many families can live on many flats. These flats are made on many floors in a single building. These are the types of houses in which present people are living and leading their life.
Hello everyone, my name is Dhruva Agrawal from 3rd D. My topic is history of vehicles. First, vehicles are used to travel from one place to another. It transport both goods and human beings. In what comes in our mind when we think about the first car made of wood with the wooden wheels and pulled by either animals or human beings. In 2069, in the first steam wave, automobile capable of human transportation was built by was built by Nicole Joseph and Cagnaut. In 1885, Carl Benz developed the first petrol-powered vehicle automobile, which was later commercialized and sold by Benz Motor Company. The car is the most commonly vehicle used for transportation. Now I will show you some different kinds of cars. These are the old age cars are of wooden, and this is the rickshaw which was pulled by animals and humans. These are the luxury cars. Are from Benz and Corporation and Ford. These are the racing cars, and these are the utility vehicles. This is these are the dump truck. This is a shovel, and this is a digger. There are many benefits of vehicles. There are many benefits of vehicles. It is the best mode of medical emergency. The vehicles make us independent. It covers long distance in the short period of time and useful in reducing the travel time. By this, I end my topic of Nirmaan. Hope it helped you to understand more about vehicles. Thank